What is going on, people? And welcome back to Total Osspurs. And something a little bit different. There's no live watch on this weekend, so we thought we'd do a live for you guys and have a long discussion about Tottenham. But before we start that, Delane, bro, how are you?
Mm. Yeah, good, bro. Good. It's good to have a couple of weeks off. Tottenham not playing, kind of enjoy my weekends. Not stressing out. Not having to go, and yeah, just a good, still a good little break for us.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're not English, but I am. Enjoyed a nice 2-1 win this morning against Italy. First time we've won in Italy in 61 years. But we'll get that on a bit later because we've got to talk about our man Kane. Um, but what I wanted to do in this live, bro, is kind of have a good discussion about the management and the manager
Mm.
that
Yeah,
we're going to
yeah,
have next. Now, I think we're all pretty cluey these days, knowing that Conte is pretty much gone. If he's not going to be
yeah,
sacked, he's gone at the end of the season.
yeah.
So first of all, your thoughts. Would you still keep Conte, especially after his outburst the other day, or would you just want to wash your hands and move on?
Me personally, I think he's basically said it all himself. I think he's passionate anymore. I think you said in the last video the likes of old friends dying, his family's still in Italy. He's a bit homesick. So for me, I think he's pretty much. I think the Southampton game was his last burst, and basically he's just let loose. And I think he's ready to. I think he's ready to move on from Tottenham. I think Levy didn't give him what he wanted, didn't give him the money. And yeah, Paratici really didn't do much for him. So I think Conte's pretty much wiped his hands with us. And look, as much as he's a great manager and he's done well for us last season, getting us top four, I was like when he first came in, I thought, oh yeah, look, this we're going to be contending here. Conte's a winner. But then as this season's just gone on, it's just gone. Yeah, it's just everything's just went downhill, and it's just like okay, maybe Conte's probably thought about it really hard and gone, nah, Levy's not giving me what I wanted, so I'm basically just gonna chew up as much as I can, try and wind out my time here, and then basically just go. So that's what it looks like to me. But after that interview, he's done. I think he's yeah.
Yes, yeah, I agree on everything you say. The only thing I'll say is that I feel like it's not only just Conte's fault that we failed or we're failing this year to compete. I was under no assumption that we would compete for the title. I think we would be comfortable this year, especially after the way we finished last year and the way we started the transfer window in the summer. I thought maybe that Levy was actually changing his ways, but time has proven that that isn't the case, or it's a bit more difficult than we all first imagined. I mean, I think we all imagined it was going to be like this anyway. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think for me, if we're not going to get onto Levy or the board or anything like that, because it's easy to turn around and say Conte failed because of them. But for me, I felt I wanted him gone, and I still do, even though I respect what he said. I don't like the fact that he's come out and said it was about the players when we all know it was about the board. If
Mm-hmm.
the board wouldn't be sacking him if he didn't aim it at them. That's just my
Yeah.
opinion. If it was just at the players, the board would have just let him deal with the consequences of the dressing room. But yeah, for me, it's just the lack of drive to change the way we play, to try and find new formations to suit the players he has. Feels like he's just drumming his formation in, and you know what they always say, like consistency is key. Consistently play a formation, you're eventually gonna understand it, get better at doing it, that sort of thing. However, I just felt like we didn't have. We were pretty much putting square pegs in round holes. We had
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
backs playing right wing backs. We had right wing backs playing left centre back. We had, we've got centre mids playing centre defensives in the likes of, Hoiberg and Bentancur. We've got, you know, strikers playing wing with Richarlison and For me, we could have just used any formation apart from the 5-2-3 or the 5-3-2. I think the 5-3-2. If you didn't want to go with wing backs, we could have just used the 5-3-2 and then just had to sacrifice Kulu or Richarlison. But just try to go a bit more attacking.
Yeah.
It's disappointing the way it's led, but for me, I wanted him out as well. I think it's his time to go, and I think he tried to get sacked, and unfortunately, the club's taking time. I personally think they're waiting for a replacement before they sack him. They don't want another summer before we hired Nuno, where we had 40 days or something without a manager, and then we got our 13th option. So there is a lot of options out there. The likes of Luis Enrique, obviously Pochettino, who's on the thumbnail. There's Glasner from Frankfurt, and a new addition, which is one that I would be excited about, is Nagelsmann.
I would be too.
If no one knows, Nagelsmann has just been sacked by Bayern because they're 1 point behind Dortmund in the league, and they narrowly beat PSG to get into the semi-final of the Champions League, and they've got Man City next. I'm pretty sure. Is it Chelsea? They got Man City, I think.
Yeah.
No, I think they got.
No, they haven't got Chelsea because AC Milan. No, I think they got I think they got City. I think it's City. They got.
Yeah, I think they got City. Yeah, so one of those two, one Chelsea or City, because the other one has Real Madrid. But they just sacked him, and he was one that we were looking at getting when we got Mourinho because he was leaving Ajax to go. Was it Ajax?
It was RB Leipzig.
Leipzig, and he went to Bayern. So his name's been dropped into the hat, and for me. Glasner's done well at Frankfurt. Obviously, everyone knows what Luis Enrique has done for Spain and for Barcelona. However, for me, if one or two managers is Poch or Nagelsmann. Now, for me, Poch for the nostalgia, he's instantly going to have love. He knows the club, plays nice football. However, it's kind of like you don't go back to your ex, but Pochettino's a good-looking ex, so And then Nagelsmann is new, so it'll be someone different, someone that can bring a new philosophy. He does play attacking football. He's a young coach as well, but very experienced. Has won titles with Bayern. I'm pretty sure he's won the Champions League with them as well. I don't think he did. No, I don't think he did. I think, but I haven't got the stats up. But he's won trophies. He's won the German Cup. So for Nagelsmann, he had a Leipzig side that beat us in the Champions League not too long ago. Twice. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts? What are you feeling? So, first of all, we'll go into who is your pick if you had to choose between, let's just say, those four managers. Who would be your pick?
Well, basically, depends on our DNA. Like, if we're going to go back to attacking football, you got to choose between either Nagelsmann or Pochettino. Now, for me, I would go, as much as I love Pochettino, I want him to come back. And you got Luis Enrique. So, look, you got a lot of options there. But for me, if something... Basically, we got to try to convince Kane to stay with the right manager. If we get the right manager in, hopefully Kane stays. So basically, that's what you got to try and get that. Like, you got to try and make sure Kane signs that new contract. So, maybe Pochettino could be the answer for Kane to stay. Or we go down a different route. We go to Nagelsmann, which, look, I'm all for. I've seen how he plays real good in attacking football. I'm very interested to what he can bring for us. Because he plays a back four. He plays a 4-2-3-1. I think that's what he plays. I think
he does. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he
does. Yeah. So he plays a 4-2-3-1. So that's basically that's
my favorite formation. That's my favorite formation. It allows the forwards to kind of interchange with the cam.
Yeah.
And it means we have a cam, and then you have the two. I like to play it where the centre defensive mid plays one side, and then a centre mid moves a bit up and has that transition, kind of like three in the middle. But sorry, carry on, bro. Carry on.
No, you're right. But Yeah, so basically, I like the way Nagelsmann sets up. I think it's the same for Pochettino. He's got the kind of the same formation. So
Yeah, he
basically,
does.
I think we're all just trying to go for that back four. We're trying to look for a back four, like because I think that will work out perfectly. You know, with the likes of Romero on the right, and then obviously we're going to try to get a left centre back because Langley's not going to be our number one, and then Dyer's probably going to maybe Dyer can go back in that midfield role. You know, where he's best suited in that midfield role. So um, but for me, it's really hard. I just really think we just need to go for our DNA, maybe either a Pochettino or Nagelsmann for me. But
Yeah,
then
well,
it's really hard. It's really hard.
look, Luis Enrique would be a great manager, but he's the win now manager. He's the Mourinho Conte esque kind of manager, and
Yeah.
we just not that. We just not that club. We just not that club that's going to drop the money into his philosophy for the next year or two. And if it doesn't go the right way, if we don't get Champions League, he'll be sacked. That's it. The aim now is to stay in Champions League, and I kind of wish our next move should be like what Arsenal did with Arteta. We should get a next manager, and that's why I'm leaning towards Poch and Nagelsmann and maybe Glasner, because they can build a squad.
Yeah.
With over time, I guess that's what they've had to do. Luis Enrique, went to Barcelona, went to Spain. He built the Spain squad off their best players, and then the Barcelona squad, he had Messi, Neymar, and Suarez. So, he was winning everything. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Luis Enrique's a winner. Nagelman's won. Poch has kind of won now. He's gone over to PSG. I think he's won a couple of cups and he's won the league once. I think he lost the league once, but is it Lille won the league or Rennes? Someone won the league, and then he won it the next year. So Poch has kind of had that taste of winning, and he's had a taste of different types of elite players, the likes of Neymar, Mbappe, Verratti,
Messi there too.
Kimpembe. I think he did have Messi, did he?
Yeah,
No,
Messi.
I think he got sacked before Messi got there.
Did he? I'm pretty sure he had Messi there.
I'm not, but you know what I mean. So he's had that experience now of higher caliber players, knows what he wants, knows what he needs. But then is that a step back for us? Is that that's another 3-4 year project? There goes the best years of Kane. There goes the best years of Son. Now, Kane's for me, he's a very fragile topic because I want him to stay. He's just broken the record for top goal scorer for England. He's broken the record for top goal scorer at Tottenham, and I would love for him to break the Premier League record of top goal scorer with Tottenham. Now, he's going to have to score a fair amount of goals in the next 2 to 3 seasons, so we're going to have to build a team around him. But Poch's system requires a higher pressing forward. Now, however, he looked very energetic this morning for England. He looked fired up. He looked ready to go. It looked like he got a bit of that hunger back in his belly because he has scored a lot. And the thing is, for me, I think Kane's the exception. If Poch comes back, I think Kane shouldn't be asked to run. He should be asked to score, and that's all he needs to do and provide the assists. You build the team around Kane, and I know Poch likes high pressing, but we've seen it before this season. Bentancur has gone past Kane to press high up the pitch, and Kane's dropped deeper into midfield because he can also get the ball early and bring and counter attack with it. So I think
Nagelsmann plays the same as well. He likes high pressing as well. I think he's kind of the same because I think the Leipzig team he did the same. Like they're pressing us high as well. So I mean, Timo Werner, Nkuku, who else do you have? Yeah, Sabitzer. So he had a lot of decent players. So I mean, I think he plays the same system as Poch. So I think it could work either way.
But that's what I mean. Like we can compensate, right? So if we do go out and get an attacking mid to suit this 4-2-3-1, because Poch and Nagelsmann both play the system. Ali used to play in the pocket behind Kane, and we used to have Dembele and Dyer, and then on the wings we had the likes of Son, Eriksson, Chadley. That's how we played. We always had that second striker. Now, if we went out and got say a Maddison, right? I know everyone keeps saying Maddison, but he's the best attacking midfielder that we can realistically buy in the league, and he's Premier League proven, should be in the England team. I don't know why he's not. I don't know why Mount's in there. I don't even know how Mount's getting in the team. He can't even make the Chelsea team anymore. But then the likes of fucking Maguire and that are in there, so you can't really say anything. But if we did have a Madison, you can ask Madison, okay, Kane's going to drop into that cam role. Madison, you press on defense. You press high. Kane, you drop in. If Kane gets that ball, if we win the ball on the press, Madison can feed it to Son or Kulu on the right, because obviously Kulu's going to start if we play that 4-2-3-1. Or if we win it with the two center defensive mids, so the likes of Basuma and Bentancur further back, give it to Kane. Kane can feed it. Now, for me, that sounds like a great system where we've built the team around Kane, and he's only got two. I think Kane can play till he's about 35. I just think he's not. He's going to play playmaker after about 2 seasons. I don't think he's going to be scoring as many goals. He is very fit, but he's also very very physical. So I feel like he's going to start declining slowly. He's not going to be like Zlatan Ibrahimovic that is playing at 41. I don't think Kane will be like that. But I think that can work. I think it can work if we not compensate, but we kind of compromise on Kane pressing, bringing someone that can press for him and asking him to move into the midfield where he is going to defend and he can win balls in the air. And if he gets the ball to feet, one turn and he can ping that ball forward to Son, to Kulu, to whoever's that attacking mid is, to attack. For me, and then everyone keeps saying, oh, we've got Doji and Porro coming, they're wing backs, they're not right and left back. I'm sorry, but Rose and Walker weren't that great defending. They were okay, they were decent, they weren't great defenders. They were bowling on, and that system you have with Poch, and I think Nagelsmann plays kind of the same thing. I think Poch and Nagelsmann are very much the same. It's just preference.
Yeah, they are.
For me, I think those two are the front runners. They should be out of those two. I don't think we should get Luis Enrique because we're not going to be able to give him the squad that he needs. Glasner, he's done well with Frankfurt, but I just don't think. I think Poch and Nagelsmann are a step above him, then Enrique is a step above. So I think either one suits our team. And it's just we have to give them a left-sided centre-back, a brand new goalkeeper, a cam, and then I think just strengthen. And then my team, all right, so I'll get onto my team. For me would be a new goalkeeper, Porro, Romero, new centre-back, Doji, Bentancur, Basuma in the middle with someone like a Madison or something in that cam role, a new cam, and then Kulu, Son, Kane. That'll be my team. Then you have the likes of Richie on the bench. Royal can cover right back if you need it. Ben Davies can cover left back if you need it, or the likes of Reguilon. I would bring Reguilon back. I would have Ben Davies there as a backup. Get rid of Longley, get rid of Dyer because Dyer's shit. Get rid of Sanchez, get rid of Tanganga, buy another backup centre-back with the money you get from those 3 centre-backs. That's decent. And then I would just play, you got Skippy or Højbjerg on the bench, and then maybe one attacking player apart from Richie that can play kind of in the front 3. Someone like a Bergwijn would have been all right, can play across the front 3. Richie can't really play across the front 3, but that's for me, that team can compete for top 4, and then we just got to add on it, like someone like Sabitzer would have been amazing. We should have got Sabitzer on a free. Or United got him. Why didn't we go for him? We were going to get him a couple of years ago when Poch was here. We were looking at getting him before he went to Bayern. We should have got him because he looks like he's on his way out. If I was the next manager, if Sabitzer goes back and United don't sign him day 1 of July, I'd sign him. He's been a good player for them this season.
Yeah, he has. He's the type of midfield that we really need. I think he's a box-to-box midfielder.
He is.
He's a box-to-box. So, but in saying that, I would go somewhat different. I'll bring in James Ward-Prowse. I think he could probably play in that mid role. But he'll even play. Probably play behind Kane, maybe.
I don't know if he can play cam. I know he can play box to box. He does that. And the thing about the Ward-Prowse is he can allow the likes of Son to move central, and he can go wide and provide the crosses. Just like Kulu, and then you got Pyro and that. We'll have a lot better crossing and a lot better set piece takers, which is where we've lacked for years. Since Eriksen had that decline with the last season and a half, he couldn't get it past the wall. Just like Son can't, just like Kane can't. Ward-Prowse would have no problem. For me, that's what we've been missing as well. The goals from free kicks that Eriksen used to get and the crosses into the box. We scored a bit more few headers this year from corners, but it's not been as consistent as what we used to be able to do.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, the likes of Ward-Prowse, I'll bring him in, just for that experience and just for the free kick specialist. And then obviously, yeah, Madison. Look, that's a bit of a. We'll probably for the price he is now. I would go for him. You know,
Well, he's like last year at Leicester this year. Like after this season,
exactly.
he's got only 1 year left on his contract. Then he's a free agent. He ain't going to
Yeah,
re-sign with
exactly.
Leicester. They're not getting anyone near the top of the league. They're shit.
No, no way. Yeah, exactly. But the way Leicester and Southampton go, like the Will Prowse and Madison, like they're no brainer. Literally, go out and get them. But at the moment, right now, obviously, it's the manager. But no, you're right. I think it's either between Poch or Nagelsmann is our next one because their Conte system, the three at the back or five at the back, it just doesn't suit us. It does really not suit us, and it's boring football. Like we sit here watch it, it's just not enjoyable. But where the likes of Nagelsmann and Poch, we could sit there for days and watch it because it's more attacking, it's more flowing. Where Conte is more defensive work. The left wing backs got to try to get up the pitch, and it's just look, it's poor, but I think now look, it's the time to bring back that DNA, bring back attacking football into our team because, and also we need to build the team around Kane. That's what we need to do. We need to
Well,
build it
that's the
around
thing.
Kane.
Everyone's saying you can't build a team around Kane because he'll either retire or leave in the next couple of years. And I understand that, but we've got at least 3 years where if Kane hits 33 and we're challenging for titles and Champions Leagues and trophies, like I still think a team that I named before, if let's just say we get like David Raya, we get Mark Gahey, and we get Madison, right? Mark Gahey, I don't really rate, but you know, they're three proven Premier League players. They've played the last 2 or 3 seasons in the Prem. Well, Raya has, Gahey has, Madison definitely has. That they're not going to cost that much. Madison and Gahey will cost a lot because they're English. But Madison, I reckon, is about 40 mil. He's worth about 60 anyway. Gahey, they want 65, but I reckon another 40 for him
He's
because he's
he,
like a 20.
he's a 40,
He's
he's
young.
40.
And then Raya will be about 26
Yeah,
million euros. So like for me, like that's under 100 mil. You sell the likes of Dyer, Sanchez, probably Sessegnon. I'd sell him back to Fulham, to be honest. I'd keep Reggie. I'd have Reggie and Adoji. If Perisic wants to go, Inter can buy him. I mean, Perisic would be really good to be a backup to Son for me.
yeah,
If we were going to
yeah,
transition to a 4-2-3-1, if not, get rid of Perisic. And honestly, I'd go buy Harvey Barnes. I know it sounds stupid, but Harvey Barnes is a good left-sided winger, and he
yeah,
attacks. He's not fucking scared of anyone. He would be great
yeah.
on the left as a backup to Son. We'd need a backup on the right for Kulu. I don't know who that's going to be. It's not going to be Hill because Hill's shit. While we're on that, I know it's kind of tangent off. Do you think the new managers will keep any of the loan players? Because that's the question. We've got 8 loan players out. We got Winks and Dombele, Lo Celso, Hill. Who else is there?
Roden.
Rodon, Regulon. There's 8. Spence and Adoji. And
Yeah.
Adoji, right? They're 8 players that are going to come back into this squad. Now, Winks is playing good at Sampdoria, but I think he's going to leave because of the way he's been treated. Fair
Yeah.
plays.
Mm-hmm.
Adoji's definitely going to be staying. I would keep Spence.
Mm-hmm.
I'd loan him out again. I'd loan him out to whoever comes up next year. Burnley. I'd loan him to Burnley next year. Go play at Burnley in the Premier League, mate. We've got Porro. We've got Royal, right?
Mm.
Royal's been playing decent. Porro's been good the last 3 games. He's going to start coming good. I'd keep Spence and loan him out. I'd start Adoji because Adoji's once again been picked in the Serie A Player of the Month, and I'd keep Regulon and get rid of Sessegnon.
Yeah, 100%. I think
That'd be what I would do. Do
yeah.
you
No,
think Poch or Nagelsmann would think that way, though? Do you think, like, because Poch bought Sessegnon, I think, do you think Poch will try and get something out of him?
it's really hard because we loaned him out to, I think it was Hoffenheim, and he was playing left wing back there. But then there was reports that he wasn't doing so well over there, and that was in Germany. That was in Bundesliga. So I mean, look, last season wasn't too bad. We started seeing a glimpse of him. Crossing, kind of scoring as well last season. But now, obviously, this injuries taking a toll on him, and obviously he's been getting injuries a lot. I don't think he's. I don't think Pochettino. If Pochettino or Nagelsmann look at him and look at his, just how he's progressed and all that, I don't really think they'll keep him just because of his injury prone and because he's not that left back or left wing back that we really wanted or really asked for. So for me, I don't think they'll keep him. I think they'll keep Adoji. As you say, I'll keep Regulon because that year that I think it was the first year he played under Conte, he was really good. He played really well in that left wing back role. Giovanni Lo Celso, look, that's a different one because that's another Poch player that Poch brought in. Will I keep him? Maybe as a backup for because I know he can play a cam role. I know he can play behind Kane. So maybe a backup. And Dombele, no, he can go. He's had enough time.
I have a feeling he's going to stay.
Attitude.
I have a feeling he's going to stay. I have a feeling that Poch bought him, and he wanted him, and I feel like he was going to be the next Dembele, but like the team was gone by then. He didn't get backed, and it was just all fucked. I honestly think that Ndombele will come back. I'm not saying he's a big good player, but I think they'll end up going, oh, fuck it. We're going to lose money on him, so we might as well try and see if he'll come good. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't want it to, but I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, it probably will happen, but I really don't want him to stay. He can go. Napoli can try and sign him if they want it, or someone else can come in for him. Spence, yes, I'll keep Spence. Who else have we got? Rydon, he can go. He can go back to Swansea if he really wants to. He's just not the centre back we asked for. I think he was probably who was he? Mourinho boy.
Oh, yeah, Mourinho wanted Diaz, and we got Rydon.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's I'm trying to avoid going at the owners, but at the end of the day, like
it does come down to the owners, but exactly it does come down to the owners.
That you actually you picked Rydon over the likes.
It's like we're going for Bruno Fernandes. It's like we're going for Bruno Fernandes. Instead of Bruno, we got Jensen.
Yeah,
we got Jensen Fernandes. It's like. That's the wrong Fernandes, man. Like, come on, that's the wrong one. You didn't want that one. So, yeah, look, did I miss anyone? I think I missed one. I can't remember if I missed one or not.
Oh, Hill, but I think Hill's gone.
Oh, Hill. I think Hill.
Adoji, but Adoji will definitely have to try and at least start. He's young, hasn't come in yet. But like. And that's the thing. It's for me, these loan players, it's more about what manager comes in, right? Because if Enrique comes in, he might be able to see something out of Lo Celso. He might think that he might get something out of the likes of Regulon, right? Because Regulon's Spanish as well. And the thing is, I kind of want to give Regulon a second chance because I felt like he didn't do anything wrong. I felt like he was asked too much of. To attack and defend, and we had shit defenders, so he kind of like was just the scapegoat for me. But yeah, like, can someone like Enrique, if we do end up, because he's close to the top of the list, can he do something with the squad? Do you reckon a manager like that? That's another. I'd say he's a win now manager. For me, I feel like that's if we get him, we want to win now, not later. But like for you, is that the manager that we should be looking at, or do you think we should continue with the build? So, I know you've said you probably go for Nagelsmann and that, but really, like theoretically, if we got Enrique, do you think he would be successful? Do you think it's just going to be another Conte Mourinho kind of thing where he's going to eventually realize that he's not going to get what he wants, and then he's just going to fuck off or get sacked?
Yeah, I think you'll be asking for. I want this. He'll be asking for, the money, the players that he wants. And Levy's not going to give it to him, obviously. And then he's going to be left with, the likes of Dyer, Sanchez, Tanganga. He's going to be going, well, if you're not going to be real players, I'll have to use these. And these guys are not the players I want. So, I mean, look, Enrique, yeah, he's a win-now manager, but I don't think he will be successful. Like, you look at it right now. Mourinho has won since he left us. He's gone to Roma and he's won the Europa League conference. The first year he was there. He won the Europa League conference.
The Conference League, it's not Europa
Yeah,
League.
the conference league. Sorry, he won the conference league. So, Conte has come in, has not won anything for us, but the year before that, I think he did win the league with Inter Milan, or the year
Yeah,
before that.
yeah, he did because he won the league into Milan, quit because they sold Lukaku,
Yeah,
and then came to Spurs mid-season when we sacked Nuno.
exactly. So I
So,
mean,
but
it could
the
be the
thing
same
is,
thing.
it could be the same for Enrique.
Exactly. He could come
So
here
it's like,
and demand this, demand that. Levy will go. No, you're not getting that. I'm not giving you that. You just get this and this and this, and then we're back to basically square one. Basically back to square one, where Conte pretty much left off, and Luis Enrique will be just coming out, cursing the players, cursing the ball, and then he'll get sacked, and then we'll go back to looking for another manager.
yeah,
Like,
that's where for me it's kind of like, do we try and build, but you know, we have the money now. Like compared to when Poch was here, we had White Hart Lane, but we weren't really making the money we're making now. Let's be honest. Let's be realistic. Obviously, the Levy's turned it into a multi-billion-dollar company with the amount of fucking superstars we have coming to the stadium now, and that's great and all. So we have a bit more money to spend, and we have spent more money over the last couple of years. You know, Conte's had nearly double what Mourinho had and Nuno
mm,
had. So, you know, we can't sit there and say that Levy hasn't put his hand in his pocket. It's more of a do we rely on Levy, and that I think that's the big question here. It doesn't really matter what manager comes in. It matters on do we think they're going to get what they want and what they need for the squad. And if you're looking back on what's happened, it's not going to happen. But you know, there's always going to be that hope with us fans of are we going to get what we really need? Is Levy going to back him? I'm really hoping he does because we need to win something and we need to build because it's not a rebuild anymore. We've been rebuilding for the last 20 years. It's a proper
exactly.
build now. We need to build a squad, and I don't think we. Personally, I think from the starting 11, we're about 4 players away from competing for the top 3. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say title, even though I didn't think Arsenal were going to compete. They've just been immense this season. They just haven't stopped. They're mentality monsters at the moment, and I just think they're going to win the league. Like I just think it's now they've put that much pressure on themselves to win it. I think they're just scrapping games now, and you know what? Like as much as I hate to say it, you know they did it the right way. They did it the Poch way. That's the way Poch should have done it. It's just he wanted that extra couple of plays to finish it off, and Levy didn't give it to him. And that's like with Luis Enrique, like you said, there's no point bringing him in if he's not going to get what he needs out of leaving. There's just no point. And but then it's the same. We can say the same thing about Nagelsmann and Poch. If they're not going to get the players that they want, is it really worth bringing them in?
Yeah, no, you're right. But yeah, I just think we need to kind of go back to basics again and go back to square one where from top, get the recruitment right, get the youth right, and then go and get the management all that sorted, and then start building from there. Start building around Kane and Son. Can't forget Son because he's kind of a promise player as well. So we need to start building around them and just get the players that either Nagelsmann or Poch want. Just get the players he wants, and then slowly, gradually go up and up and up. Each year, get a backup midfielder. Another season, get another one like a defender. Just each year, just slowly get better players, and then we'll gradually go up. So yeah, like I think that's the way I reckon we should go. But are we going to go down that way? Are we going to just go fuck it? We'll just go Lucas Enrique, and yeah, he just has to suffer, which I don't want because as Tottenham fans right now, as us right now, we want trophies, and I know it's going to take us a while to get it, but I'd rather get it where we are building to get it. I'd rather do that
Yeah.
than try and go.
Well, no one
Do
can
something.
turn to us and say we're glory hunters, bro, because we haven't won anything in 15 years. So, for me,
Oh,
you're right.
it could be
It's
another 15 years till we win something. Who
oh,
knows, man?
don't, because I'll be 45 then, and
Oh
that's
no,
fucking
oh
horrible.
no, it's
Um,
shit.
but yeah, look, I agree with what you said. And at the end of the day, we can kind of all our Spurs fans, all the channels, all the people, all the fans themselves on Twitter and Facebook and all that and Instagram. We can all talk about new managers and we can talk about who will be the next manager. If are they going to succeed? Why would they succeed? What formation? Now, you're right. For me, I want to go back to Bill Nicholson. Um, as they always say, to dare is to do. We haven't been doing a lot of daring lately. We've just been a lot of not doing. And I want to see our identity back. We've always been an attacking team, always. Even if we've been shit, we've been attacking. So I think we need to stick to that ethos. This whole let's play with defensive managers. I would have rather have been eighth this season and watched better games. How many games have we woken up to watching and it's been dead football the whole game? And we're sitting there going, why the fuck have we woken up to this? Like,
It's
this is not worth it. Like, we're getting up at 12. Like, the game next weekend, the Everton game is at 12 a.m. on a Sunday morning. So it's either we have to go to bed for a couple of hours, get up, watch the game, go back to bed, or we stay up until 2:30 in the morning and then sleep and then get up on our Sundays. And most of us work Saturdays. So Sundays are only real day to relax or do shit around the house. So it's kind of like we're sacrificing our sleep and that's the thing, games are wrong when we're at work and we're still trying to watch it. Games are wrong before work. Sometimes at Monday morning at 1:30 in the morning and I have to start work at 5. I'm getting up an extra 3 hours to watch Tottenham. And people can sit there and go, oh, you don't have to get up. But it's I kick myself if I ever sleep through 5 minutes of a game, let alone a whole game. So
exactly,
um,
man.
I want to see Poch and Nagelsmann. I don't want to see any defensive coaches. I don't want to see anyone that's just going to sit, park the bus, and try and scrape points to get into top 4. I want to see us go for games. I want to see us utilize the attacking talent we have. I want us to build on defense. I do think our defense in our midfield, our attackers, if we didn't buy an attacker next year, I mean, we are going to lose Danjuma. We're going to get Hill back, which for me, we haven't even played Danjuma, so it's kind of like for like. I don't think if we didn't buy an attacker, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be upset. I'd rather promote Dane Scarlett up and have him just fucking run out and play in cup games. Okay, that would be my plan. I wouldn't buy a striker. I'd have Richarlison and Dane Scarlett, and I'd just go, you guys are going to have to play across the front three. Usually get turns at striker. Whoever performs better will be the backup. Simple as. I think it was a mistake buying Richarlison personally. I don't think we needed that backup in the front. I think we could have moved Son into striker like we did before and played Perisic on the left wing and had David or Sessegnon on the left. So I know it sounds really bad when you say that, but there's a lot of players that are still there since Poch left. Lloris was there, Son was there, Kane was there, Davies, Dyer, Sanchez, and Dombele, Lo Celso. Did we buy Lo Celso after Poch got sacked?
No, we bought him
just before, because I went to the game when we played against Burnley and he started. There's heaps of players that are still there that Poch would have seen. And I think we just need to clear out. And that's what I want Poch to come. If Poch or Nagelsmann come in, for me, I don't really care now. Either one of those two has to come in. Poch, because I love Poch nostalgia, but Nagelsmann because he's a good manager and he plays good football. So
he's
for
young.
Me, it's out of those two. It's those two. I wouldn't look at Enrique because we're not going to give him what he needs. Glasner is not as good as Nagelsmann or Poch. And then the likes of like Steve Cooper, no, sorry, stay at Nottingham Forest. Like those two are the only two I would go for. And I think we should go all out to get him.
Thomas Frank, you got Thomas Frank from Brentford?
I mean, Thomas Frank isn't too bad, but I think that he should stay at Brentford and try and build that team. If anything, theoretically, if we lost Kane, I'd take Ivan Toney off their hands straight away.
Oh, yeah.
He's third in the fucking league and he's playing for Brentford.
Yeah.
He's a higher goal scorer than, Mo Salah, Gakpo, Nunes, fucking Sterling, fucking Grealish, all these players that play in the top teams that play in mad attacking football, and he's playing for Brentford. He's got 16 goals this season.
Yeah.
He would be immense for us. If we lost him and had Son and Kulu off him, he'd be great for us. But obviously, he's not as good as Kane.
Just going on the Richarlison, as you were saying, like we shouldn't have brought Richarlison. I would have brought someone else instead of Richarlison. I would have brought Ollie Watkins.
I mean, I don't think he would have come to us because
I know, I know. But
he's a young
if
player.
he paid the money, if he showed the money,
it's not the money. I mean, he would have been about 65 mil. For me, it's more.
Is he? Yeah.
He wouldn't have come because he wouldn't have got starts, and you get starts at Aston Villa. Like, that's just plain and simple. Like, sometimes for players, it's not the team you play for, it's the minutes.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. I would have loved to have him because I think Ollie Watkins is a good little striker, and I think he could be bits for us. But that's a good shout. I mean, he would be a good backup for Kane, and he's a bit quicker. But the thing is, it's Conte never stopped playing Kane. Yeah, so is Poch going to do the same thing? Poch did it to Mora. Mora dropped him for the final to play Kane. Like, for me, is Kane going to be told this season you're not going to be playing every game. You're not going to be playing every cup game, especially again, like, you're going to be getting rested. We're going to have to if we hit the. I personally want us to hit the Europa League. I don't think we're good enough to play Champions League. There's no point playing Champions League next season if we're going to get beat or we're going to scrape through the knockouts for the group and then get smacked in the knockouts. Yeah. I know we didn't get smacked by AC, but that's a poor AC Milan team.
That was really poor. Like,
and we could not break them down.
No, we couldn't. We could not break them down. And like, I mean, like, if we were on song, if we play like how we were playing against Man City, we will put them away. But I don't know what happened or what's going on. And it probably was all Conte. He probably set it up wrong, or he just.
I just think the mentality of it. I just think that they were focused on the league. I personally think Conte was more focused on the league because that was his objectives from Levy, and that's what they did. They just focused on the league.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Same with the FA. I think he did the same for the FA. He shut it up. Like, didn't play our top starting 11 as usual. He just played all young and it just didn't work. And he just focused more on the league than the cup, which really pissed us all off as Spurs fans. Like, that was the only chance to get a trophy. The FA Cup was the only cup that we could really go for, and we bottled that. Champions League, there was no chance of us trying to do Champions League. We got punked. Like, Chelsea got Real Madrid now. If that was us, that could have been us.
Well, no. If we'd beat AC, we would have had Napoli, which is probably one of 5 best teams in Europe at the moment. If we got through Napoli, it would have been either Inter or fucking Benfica. I think it's Benfica.
Yeah.
So, we could have had, theoretically, we had one. Honestly, if you look back on all our cup runs this season, we had one of the easiest cup runs in every cup we were in this season, and we lost.
We had the easiest group in Champions League as well.
We should have maybe not the FA, but we should have made the FA Cup semi-final at least. Mm-hmm. The League Cup, we should have went further. We should not have got knocked out by Nottingham Forest because we smacked them the other day anyway. We shouldn't have lost to Sheffield. We shouldn't have lost to Sheffield. I don't know who we would have had next. I think it was Blackburn. We had Blackburn next. So we would have at least made the semis, minimum. Yeah. We should have beaten AC, and we would have had Napoli. So we would have made the quarterfinals of every cup at least with the run that we had.
But you look at that group in the Champions League, we had, I think it was Marseille, Sporting.
And Frankfurt.
That was, Frankfurt. One of the easiest groups.
We had easy groups.
We had one of the easiest groups. And then, obviously, we scraped that. We just scraped that. It's... me personally, I think it's just Conte and Levy. Mostly Levy said, no, look, just focus on the league. Get the league done. I want top 4. That's more important. Trophies are not important. It's that top 4 that's more important, which is... it makes us really angry because we want that cup. We want a trophy. 15 years has been since our last trophy.
Yeah. And there's one man, and we're going to move on to this next topic because It's been 45 minutes, and we haven't acknowledged this man. If you don't know, Harry Kane has now become England's top goal scorer with the penalty that he smashed against Donnarumma to give England a two. I think it was a 2-0 lead against Italy. And he did it in like 40 less games than Rooney did. So, first of all, I want to say he's just a one-season wonder, as everyone was saying when he first broke through. He's nothing. Harry Kane's going to be nothing. I have got to give this man the biggest raps. He doesn't have the best natural talent. He's a bit like Ronaldo. He's just honed his skill so well. And like I said, people don't know this, but he used to play midfield for Tottenham in the youth ranks. That's why he's such a gun passer. And for me, he's got that. You know, remember when Rooney, United didn't have the legs anymore, and he transitioned to midfield.
Yeah.
I think Kane will be like Rooney times 10 in terms of ability into midfield. I'm not saying he's better than Rooney as a striker. So before United fans come for me, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that Kane has a better passing range than Rooney, so he can transition into that midfield a lot easier, or that number 9 role where he sits behind the striker and feed. For me, I feel like he's going to start transitioning once he gets close to that 200. Once he breaks the 260, I think Kane will just go buy someone else. I'll either leave and go get trophies, or I'll just sit here and fucking feed that person all day. But what a man! Tottenham goal scorer, England goal scorer. You've been fairly new to Tottenham. I introduced you to Tottenham. Sorry about that. I brought you onto this suffering train of despair. But it's brought some good times, brought some bad times. But how do you feel about Harold Edward Kane?
Wow, that's a real freaking big speech there about Harold. Jesus. All right. Now look,
Harry.
now look, I know I haven't probably back in his young days watched them, but from what the history doesn't.
When did you start following Tottenham? When did you start following?
I think it was around time where
it was before the Champions League because we were living together at that point. So it would have been about a year or two before because we went to a few of the games at the pub a couple of years before that. So I'd say it's 2014?
2014,
so nearly 10 years. Nearly 10 years.
Yeah, nearly 10 years. Look, nearly 10 years. But, looking back then, no, I didn't see much of Kane back then. But to know how he's gone and progressed, it's like, wow. Like, for me, that is a player that you don't want to leave. You want him to stay because he can make anything can happen. And he's always consistent. He's always consistent. No matter if he's having a rough day, everyone else has a rough day, he can always turn up and go, look, no, let's get up there. I can try to get us back into the game. But, yeah, look, he is world-class. I don't care what anyone says. Look, you have brought this up before. If Erling Haaland wasn't in the Premier League, everyone would be talking about Harry Kane. Everybody. Every fan from every team would talk about Harry Kane, breaking records.
21 goals already this season in a shit Tottenham team that doesn't score goals. Exactly. I mean, we do score goals, but we don't attack.
No, we don't attack. But that's what I mean. So, look, yeah, it's plain and simple. If Erling Haaland wasn't in the Premier League, Kane would be getting talked about every. He's been for the last 4 or 5 seasons. He's been getting talked about because, yeah, there's no one else better than him. To be honest, there's literally no other striker.
If I could pick a striker right now, I'd pick Kane. I know you got Lewandowski, Osman's playing really well, Haaland, but they can't do what Kane can do. None of them can. You put Kane. If Kane was in that Liverpool team, right, playing as the number 9 like Firmino does, fucking hell. If he had prime Mane, prime Salah, and then Kane sitting at number 9, they would have fucking tore this league apart. Like, that's how good, like, he and the thing is, he would have bagged double the goals for Firmino and double the assists because he's that fucking good. All he would have to do is tell Salah or Mane to get on their bike and he would provide the pass. And then all he'd have to do is ask Mane and Salah to give him a ball and he'd get in that box and score. So, I always say it, and it's because I believe it. I do believe that if Haaland wasn't in this league, Kane would be spoken about more than he is now. I mean, people talk about it. People, have acknowledged that he's probably one of the best strikers England's ever produced. For me, being English, I can't be anything but proud of him. He's a gun. But let's be honest, he's the best striker I've ever seen. I mean, I watched Henry. It's hard because everyone has their own idea of how a striker should be. Like Henry was crazy. Like Henry was probably he is probably the best Premier League striker I've ever seen. Just because pure striker. But if you look at a striker now, if you look at Harry Kane as a player, he's one of the most complete players I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. You can do it all.
The only thing he needs to work on is his dribbling and a bit of pace, and that's it. He always clears the ball from corners. 9 times out of 10, he's there. He gets back and he can defend fairly well. People don't think he can, but he can. I've seen so many times where he's gotten back and stolen the ball and turned. Mm-hmm. He can shoot. He can pass. He can cross. He can header. And that's the thing. Anything he doesn't have is the dribbling, the pace, and the skills. But you can. If you can pass and you can shoot and you've got the mind and he's got the brain. He's got I don't know if people know what rugby league, right? I used to play halfback, right? I wasn't a great footy player. Like in terms of technique, passing, kicking, I wasn't the best. But what I had was vision. I could see the gaps. Well, I'm kind of picking myself up, but that's all I had was I was a bit wiser on where to move the ball around. Kane's like that. He's got this spatial awareness of someone I've never seen before. One glance it takes, and he can pin the ball onto the foot of Son, curl it around 3 defenders. And he's a striker. He's not like a Modric or a De Bruyne or Ozil in his prime. He's a striker, and he can do that kind of thing. It's insane.
It is insane, but you said about the Liverpool, but even if he was in fucking Man City, if Haaland didn't go to Man City and Kane went to Man City, De Bruyne would be just feeding him. He'd be just scoring goals for fun.
They probably wouldn't have lost a game this season. Oh, they probably would have, but Arsenal wouldn't be top if Kane was in that team. I'm telling you that right now. Arsenal would not be top.
De Bruyne and Kane will just run amok. They'll just tore the defenders apart because you have De Bruyne just whip a ball, Kane's foot, and Kane's 10 out of 10. Kane's going to score that. I'm not saying 9 out of 10. I'm saying 10 out of 10. Kane's.
I mean, Haaland can score those goals, but I think Kane just provides a. If Haaland's not scoring, what is he doing? That's for me. If he's not scoring goals, he isn't doing much. Now, people can sit there and say that he's starting to get more involved and dropped it, but he's robotic in the goal. The best clinical striker in terms of inside that 18-yard box, right? Better than Kane. He just seems to score. But his game in general, if he's not scoring, what does he do? Exactly. That's for me. What does he do if he's not scoring? What is Erling Haaland providing?
Not really doing much because he can't drop in the midfield. He can't pass from the back. He can't pass from midfield. So basically, he can't really do much. Where, like the Kane, he can basically he can pin a ball. He can defend. Basically do everything if you want. He can play goalkeeper. He's played goalkeeper before. So
he conceded a very easy goal too. So I wouldn't want him to play goalkeeper. But,
I wouldn't want him either. But
if you want him to, you fucking do it. Who cares?
Yeah, but he can play it. But look, I gotta give big ups to Kane as well. All-time England's goal scorer. Just what a player. What a player we have in Tottenham and also in England. But this is a player we don't want to let go as Tottenham fans. We do not want to let go of him. I mean, the likes of Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, PSG, obviously Man City are not going to go for him because they got Erling Haaland. Even Newcastle. But look, those teams will be lingering around right now for Kane because he's on this. He's pretty much. When's his contract up? I think it's the end of the season.
Next season. So he's only got 1 year left. That's why they're trying to tie him up.
Yeah, exactly. So he's got 1 year left on his contract, and you have all these big teams lingering around, sniffing for him. and we don't want that. Me personally, I don't want to lose Kane because I know how much he wants to win a trophy with Tottenham. You know, he's Tottenham through and through, basically. If you put it that way, I know he played his young days with it was a Leicester. He
He's
played
played for
Norwich,
Norwich, Leicester, Millwall. No, I don't know about Norwich, but
Millwall.
Millwall. Yeah, no,
Millwall.
he's played for different clubs on loan.
Yeah,
But he's Tottenham through and through, and they can always bring up that photo of him when he was 8 years old at one of
in the
the
Arsenal, isn't Arsenal shadow?
It was Arsenal days or something. He was in the
Yeah,
academy. Of course, he's going to get his spray painted.
yeah,
But the passion he has when he scores against Arsenal, he's Tottenham through and through, and he
exactly,
wouldn't have stayed at us for so long if he wasn't.
exactly.
And that's the thing. What I think is going to happen is he's going to push the next. If he stays, he'll sign a year. It'll pretty much be like a contract where every year he can extend it, or he can leave
Yeah,
for a certain amount of money, right? So I think the next contract he gets with Tottenham, if he stays, it'll be 2 years with an extension for a third, and then a buyout clause of like 80 mil or something, right? And then what he'll do is he'll try and get to Shearer's record, and then by that time, Benzema will probably be retired from Real. Lewandowski will drop out, and then Haaland will probably end up going to Real or PSG or something. And then whichever one of those big teams like Bayern, PSG, or Real that don't get Haaland, Kane will go there. I think he'll go to Bayern and
yeah,
and in Germany, and I think he'll just smash the league. He'll win the champion, probably will the Champions League there. He'll win the league there, and then he'll retire a couple of years later and come back to Tottenham as a representative like Ledley King. That's what I think is going to happen if he signs a new contract. If he doesn't, he'll go to United, and he'll probably win the league, and he'll outscore Shearer, and then he'll probably go overseas a year or two later. That's what
yeah,
and then the thing is, he's 30. He's just turned 30, so I think he's got at least 4 or 5 more years before he's done, before his legs give out and he's done. Because he looks quite fit. He looks a lot fitter than when he did. Well, not really. He's put on a bit more bulk because he's obviously getting older. But for me, that's what's going to happen.
You know what's weird, but he's younger than us.
I know.
He's younger than us. It's crazy to think that right now. He's younger than us.
Yeah,
Like
I
he's only
know.
what couple months younger than us.
Yeah.
That's well.
Actually, when is his birthday? Hold on.
I think he's a couple months younger than me.
Oh, it's
But
November the 10th. So he's 30 at the end of the year. So he's 29 still. So
he's still young.
Wait, hang on. No. His birthday is 28th of July. Sorry. It said, I don't know why it said November 10th. Oh, number 10. My bad. So 28th of July. So he's literally 5 months younger than me and 6 months younger than you. Like, that's crazy to think. That we idolize this man and he's younger than us. But you know what? At the end of the day, there's players that we idolize that are going to be younger than us. There's going to be players in 20 years' time that we think, fucking hell, he's 18 and he's a gun. So,
yeah, exactly.
for me, I think Kane deserves everything that he gets. I think he deserves to break the record. Hopefully, it's with Tottenham. I don't think it will be if we don't get the right manager. Do you think he stays if we go for Nagelsmann or Poch? Now, I have heard that he's been one of the ones to call for Poch to come back. I don't know if that's because he wants Poch to take the club on as he leaves, or if he wants to stay and work under Poch again. But who do you if we get Nagelsmann or Poch, or okay, put it this way, I want you to give a yes or no if he stays for these managers. So, do you reckon he stays if we get Poch?
Yes.
Nagelsmann,
Yes.
Luis Enrique. I think he stays because Enrique has won Euros, I think, with Spain, and he's won like countless Champions Leagues with Barca. I think that's the only reason why he stays. If we get Glasner, he's gone. If we get Thomas Frank, he's gone. If we get De Zerbi from Brighton, he's gone. I think it's either those three managers. If we don't get any of those three, he's gone. Even if we get Vincent Kompany, because everyone's trying to bring Vincent Kompany in as a shout. I mean, he's doing well at Burnley, but I think a couple more years. I don't want him to rush it. I want him to, and if he comes, then he comes, because we got Yaya Toure in our youth academy. But yeah, I actually have heard that Defoe might be joining the coaching staff if Mason takes over for the rest of the season, which would be nice to see because Defoe was the one that gave Harry Kane the famous number 18.
Yeah, exactly. Look, yeah, that would be great if he did join the coaching staff for if Ryan Mason takes the rest of the season. But in saying that, I really don't want to go I don't really want to end the season with Ryan Mason. Look, I rather use this international break now and get the manager we need right now before the international break finishes. Because if we're going with Ryan Mason, like I'm not saying Ryan Mason's bad. Like I still think he's got a little more development in his coaching. Like he's still got.
He's shit.
No, I think Ryan Mason is just one of those guys that not luckily, but he obviously must have knowledge because Conte rated him highly. However,
Yeah.
I also think that if we're going to go for an interim manager, I would rather us go. You know what? We're gonna hire Poch now. We're gonna hire Nagelsmann, Luis Enrique, give them the last 10 games to assess the squad, assess training, assess who they want. Because the extra 10 games that we have, or 9 games we have for the rest of the season, it's March, right? They got April, May, and June. They go away on preseason in July, and then August the 12th is the first game. So they've got essentially 5 months to assess their team, find their targets, develop with Levy and Paratici, who I think should be gone as well. But
I think he's going to go. I think
he should go. I don't think we should keep someone that's going to be fucking in prison.
Exactly.
And like for me, we should be getting, like you said, we should be getting him in now, not waiting. Just go for him now. Get him in now.
Nagelsmann's he's basically just got sacked. He's actually gone. So Thomas Tuchel's taken over. Poch is lingering around. So is Lucas Enrique. He's lingering around as well. So all these 3 managers are just sitting there, just waiting, just for the word from Levy going, here's a spot for you. Or do you want the spot? Why not do it now? Like I think you're right. I think we're waiting on to bring the new manager in to sack Conte. That's what we're waiting on.
Yeah, I think we're trying to get we're not going to sack Conte until we get the manager signs the contract, and then we're just going to sack him.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm going to say it now. Going full circle, I want Poch back. Nagelsmann's a great manager. I just think there's something about, how can I put it? I think Poch knows what's happened now. And I think he won't come back unless he has guarantees. Like in his contract, you will get 150 mil to spend on whoever you want every transfer window. But then it'll be a clause like, but we have to sell 2 players okay, fine. Fucking first 2 out the window. Sanchez and I wouldn't say Dyer straight out. Winks and Dombele and the Salso. Any one of those out the window. Sessegnon, boom, gone. 150 mil. We don't have. The thing is, we've got to buy smart too. Money isn't everything. It's we need to revert. Honestly, Paul Mitchell. I don't know if anybody knows, but Paul Mitchell, who was under Poch when he first started and left because Levy was a dog, and Levy was fucking him up with his transfers. He's now finished up at Monaco, and he's a free agent, and he's been contacted by Liverpool and United, Newcastle. If any one of those get him, he's going to identify so many good players for them. It's going to be horrible. What we need to do is Levy needs to get down on his knees and beg Paul Mitchell, if we get Poch or Nagelsmann, to come back to get Paul Mitchell back.
Yeah.
Because that and then let him do whatever they got to do, because that's when Paul Mitchell was cooking and Poch was cooking, that's when we were challenging for the title.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think you're right. I think Paul Mitchell, if Levy does get on his knees, he fucking should, and beg Paul Mitchell to come back, I think Poch will come back, and then that's when we start to rebuild and start to build around Kane and Son, and that's when it's gonna. Look, for me, it's gonna take a bit of time. Like I know everyone is gonna expect Poch to come back firing and go, oh look, try to go for the Premier League or try to win cups and all that. We have to do what Arsenal did and just slowly rebuild each season, and then obviously when when Poch or Nagelsmann's got the players they want, that's when we go for it. We can't just go all hot headed and go right and try and demolish teams and like we have to rebuild first. That's what I want to see. I want to see
Yeah,
us
but I
rebuild.
still want us to try and compete every day, every
Yeah,
week.
I know.
Every game, just compete, even if we're not good enough, as long as we're trying to compete, And that's the thing.
Yeah.
I feel like we get set up now to games where it's we know we're not as good defensively, so we're just gonna. The thing is with me with Conte, and I've always thought you always play to your strengths. You never you never try and cover up your weaknesses because then you're inhibiting both sides, right? So our defense is shocking, right? Let's be honest, it's shocking. I understand that going to a back four means we're open, right? But there's times where you just go, fuck it, we'll just outscore the team. We'll make them not want to attack us because our attack's so good. And we could have had that. We could have had that where Kulu could have played in the middle. We could have played someone on the right, Sud on the left, and Kane, and just told them, you four, just go for it. We'll have 2 center defensive mids. We'll have a wing back come up and help you. We'll have 5 sitting back just in case. So you have the 2 center backs, 4 back, 2 center backs and 2 center defensive mids. And then you just have the rest of the team just go up gun ho and try and score.
Yeah,
we may concede a bit more, but we would have definitely scored a hell of a lot more than what we did this year.
Exactly. Because we got the scoring power. We got the attacking. We got the attacking. It's just we just didn't utilize that. We didn't use that to our strengths, and that's what I felt with Conte. He was real stubborn with. He didn't use that. He's like, oh no, I'm just gonna stick to what I know. This is how I'm gonna play. This is what I'm gonna do. And that's what kind of got all. That's what kind of got all of our Spurs fans all pissed off because he wasn't playing, to the player's strengths. And now look at the situation he's in now. He's basically called out the players. He's called out the board. Where literally it's his own fault. He didn't.
He's got to take. He's got to take accountability. But I also think that.
Exactly.
It's the club as a whole. It's not just Conte. It's not just Levy. It's not just Paratici. It's not just It's everything. It's the recruitment. It's the way we run the club. It's the mindset that the board has of we're making money. So why is everyone whinging? Well, hang on. You're making money. We're not making money. We're spending money. Fans are spending money. Like I said, I went to the Man City game and the prices were ridiculous. Like you get 4 beers and it's fucking £40 or something stupid.
Yeah,
that's like it's just you're making money off people that have built this club from ground up, have been fans for years, their whole lives, and it's not fair. It's not fair on you. It's not fair on the little kid that wants to see his team. When you know how hard it is, especially being in Australia, right? I mean, it's not as hard as being in England, right? I'm not saying that, but in Australia, like no one really follows anybody but the big four. Liverpool, United, Chelsea, Liverpool. You're starting to get a lot of Man City. You get it, huh?
You said Liverpool twice. It's Arsenal.
Oh, Arsenal, Liverpool, United, and Chelsea, right? They're the 4 that everyone follows because since 2003, they've been the 4 top teams, right? Man City recently, last 10 years, have bit pushed up, and then the only reason why Tottenham have kind of got there is because of the Champions League run under Poch and the way we were playing under Poch. It's the only reason why there's more top fans now than there was a few years ago, right? And for me, it was hard. I've got mates that don't even know half of it. They don't even watch half the game that are bantering me because Arsenal beat us.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys I went to school with are all Liverpool, Arsenal fans, and just bantering us for no fucking reason. They don't half the games, and they fucking banter. It's so hard sometimes.
It's hard for us, obviously we live in Australia to there's not really that much. For what I know, there is Tottenham supporters over here, but there's not as many as those top 4.
A lot more now, though. I will say that there's a hell of a lot more now than there used to be.
There used to be just barely, but now there's a lot more. I think everyone, started to get on board, which is good. So shout out to our Aussie supporters over here. But look, it's really hard to try and follow our team that we don't like we love Tottenham, but it's just so hard to follow where we're not playing we're not playing the attacking football like we used to, and it's really hard to enjoy it. And it's just
and we haven't won.
Exactly. We haven't won pridely. When's our last decent? Besides Man City, when has a game like Man City, like when we won now, when has the last game been like that? Like, when have we showed so much passion? Like, I
Probably
can't remember.
Ajax.
Yeah, probably the Ajax was probably the last one. Like,
That'd be the only one that I can think of. It's Ajax.
exactly. And that was on the potch too. That was on the
Yeah.
potch. So look, to sum this all up, either bring Nagelsmann or Pochettino, convince Kane to sign the contract. Let's build the team from ground up, start from top to bottom, build the club again, get fans on board, and look, let's just try and get back to our old ways again. Try to get back to the Pochettino way. Get back to, hopefully start a new era with Nagelsmann, play attack football that we enjoy. That's all I want to see from here and now. I want to see that.
Yeah, well,
That's all I
I
want
want
to
to see that too, but at the end of the day, it's it's up to what the board
see. The
wants,
board.
Levy wants.
Well, if they're hearing this, either Nagelsmann or Poch. One of them two.
They ain't going to care about us, bro. They don't even care about. They don't even care about the Conte and that. So, but
Yeah,
I understand what you mean. But look, I'm probably going to wrap that up there. I haven't even said this the whole stream because you've just been talking. But if you're watching on the playback or you have been joining us live, make sure you smash a like and subscribe to the channel. We are going to keep doing more of these as the season goes on. There is something special. Tottenham have announced that they're coming to Western Australia to play West Ham at Perth. Now, it's quite expensive to get over there. In retrospect, if you're trying to fly from Sydney to Perth, which is where we're based at, it's like flying to pretty much Turkey, if not further, from London. So it's quite far. It's about a 5.5 hour flight there. It's a bit quicker back because of the winds, but it's a quite expensive flight. So we're all summing it up, but I'm going to try and see if we can go. If we can go, we will be doing a live vlog for that day. It should be a good day out in Perth. There's a lot of Aussie supporters that I know and a lot of Facebook groups that I'm on for Tottenham that are all looking forward to it. So if we can get over there, we can. If not, then we'll definitely be doing content for you guys for that. And the FIFA streams will be coming back. We're going to be doing one next couple of days. Just been a bit hard with the boys lately. There's a couple of bugs going around. Everyone's getting sick. So hard. But we're going to do a bit of Rocket League and FIFA. And apart from that, thank you for joining us. Delane, once again, thank you for your time.
Cheers, bro.
And before we wrap it up, anything else you want to say before we go?
Oh yeah. Just a quick mention. Sav. If people don't know, make sure you go follow Sav. He pretty much gave us a shout out, here on.
Sava Talk Sports, which is now the Football Heritage.
Yes.
I was commenting on it the other day, and he gave us a big shout out. So shout out to Sava from Football Heritage.
Yes, shout out to him. But other than that, I got nothing else. But anything you like to say?
No, I think that's it, bro. I think it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, no, I think it's time. But other than that, either Nagelsmann or Poch, and I'm happy. So, but other than that, as we always say here, to the Old Spurs, stay Spursy.
Stay Spursy, guys.